Hey everybody, I'm coming at you with a brand new video, and I want to talk very quickly about my makeup again. I feel like I'm having a really good makeup day. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be a trend from now on that I'm having good days. But the vitamin E oil method is working. The only thing is, I think I removed my makeup a little bit too harshly and I might be damaging my skin. And the next day I have some sort of hyperpigmentation, which is why the makeup look that I use maybe doesn't work 2 days in a row. We'll see. It's still a work in progress, but I'm really happy with it. I did the same thing. The lipstick, a powder. I put a little bit of foundation around the eyes. I had a little bit of shadow on. No liner, just some mascara. And this is the look. I'm really happy with it. It was really nice. But anyway, I am on here because I wanted to talk about some of the unique challenges that I faced as a graying semi-freeformer. Now, semi-freeform, the definition that I'm using is talking about if you started your locks with a cultivated method where you put in twists. You may have even been keeping up with retwisting for a while, but eventually you gave up on doing that and you've left your hair to its own devices and you are now following the neglect method. You may or may not be doing some occasional separating in select areas, but you're not doing any retwists. You are going for a semi-freeform look. Now, contrary to popular opinion, I really don't think there's anything wrong with making a choice to be semi-freeform. I chose to be semi-freeform because, for one thing, I didn't feel as though I identified with the cultivated lock form. I didn't want to have something that I had to fuss over and have to retwist and all that stuff. I mean, I felt like, what's the difference between doing that and just perming and getting my hair roller set all the time? It was just the same thing as far as I was concerned. Plus, I didn't really care for the scalpy look of cultivated locks. So I didn't really want that. I didn't want thin locks. I wanted my locks to be thick. But even as I was looking at the freeform locks, there was a lot that attracted me about freeform locks, but I really wasn't ready to go the all-out neglect method and just trust the process to style my hair. I still wanted to have some sense of control on what I look like and how I want to present myself to the world. So that's why I chose semi-freeforming. It's something, it is a choice that you can make, and there's certainly nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you've done. Just call it what it is. You're a semi-freeformer, and that's what it is, and there shouldn't be any stigma about it at all, you know. So anyway, but there are some challenges to choosing to be a semi-freeformer, and those are things that aren't talked about an awful lot, and I'm hoping that I can say some things that might help people to make a decision for themselves, or to maybe put people at ease about some things that you may be experiencing like I've experienced as a semi-freeformer. What I did was I started my hair in 2-strand twists, and I had a definite grid, and I went to great lengths to try to honor the way that my hair grows and the way that my hair responds. So for example, in this area here, my hair tends to thin an awful lot. I noticed that my grandmother and her sisters and the females in my family in this temple area and in this temple area, they tend to lose their hair as they get older. And that just seems to be completely natural. I notice that I have stress. When I go through stress, I lose hair in that area. And my hair grows thicker in the crown and thinner on the sides. So I try to start off with locks that honored the way that my hair grows, so I wouldn't have really stringy ones and really big ones up here. I tried to be very mathematical about how I did these. Well, there is certain math about doing semi-freeform locks that you can't account for. For example, your hair grows in stages and in sections. And there's no way of being able to tell or predict where that is. As a whole, there are parts of your hair that are growing, parts that are dormant, and then that can change. And then there are parts of your hair where follicles will shed and new hairs will come out. These are change and evolutionary things that happen in your hair independent of any kind of prediction or anything like that. So as a result, when you start out your grid of doing your hair is going to come out of that because it's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving. It's some parts are growing faster than other parts, and the parts that you twisted in are probably slipping out while it's growing out, and you'll have pieces that will come through and it'll look like parts are broken off. And I noticed that, a lot of people have experienced that when they started with semi-freeform locks. And when they saw that their hair was coming apart, there was sort of this collective fear that they were doing something wrong, or their hair was dry, or it was breaking, or there was something that the hair needed. And then immediately they start loading products in to try to keep it. And I think that if we have an open discussion about the process of hair growing and evolving into its own state of mind, I think that it would put people at ease a little bit better when it comes to letting your hair grow out in the semi-freeform method. I'm pretty sure that other people in other methods experience the same things, but I just wanted to talk about those effects that happen as a semi-freeformer. And then on top of that, the layers on top of that are if you are a person who is graying as a semi-freeformer. Gray hair has its own set of principles on how it works. The way that gray hair comes in is that your hair, as it ages, the hair follicle, what gives your hair its color is melanin. And as you get a little older, after your 30s or so forth, your hair follicle stops producing melanin. So when you lose a hair and it starts to grow back in, it can grow back in gray or silver or white, depending on what is indigenous to you. So that's how your hair transitions and turns gray. It's new hair that's growing in that replaces old hair that has fallen out, and that new hair may be growing without the melanin production that it usually does. And also, in addition to that, the texture of that hair may be a little different just because of the changes. So the curl pattern may be slightly different than what you're used to with the rest of your hair. And also that hair probably grows slower than the rest of your hair. So as it comes in with your hair, you will notice that it will slip out, that it will separate, that it will have its way of doing things, and it can make you think that your hair is brittle, your hair is breaking off, none of which is true. Your hair can be in perfectly good health, but it's just growing at a different pattern than what you're used to, and you are seeing that as your hair comes in. So these are some things that I learned as I was going forward, but I think it's a good thing to keep in mind that as you are aging, as you're getting older, these changes are perfectly normal and healthy for your hair. And it's just best to not be panicked and start throwing products in because you think that there's something that you're doing wrong or something more that you should be doing, which is the best you should be doing is just enjoying the journey for what it's worth. So anyway, as far as keeping the silver, I don't really have too many problems with my hair changing color. But again, I've been using this product here. This is called Bedhead TG is the company that makes this bedhead product, and it's a purple toning shampoo. It's basically just you lather, rinse, repeat. But once you put this in your hair, you want to leave it in for about 1 to 10 minutes, and they say that that will keep the silver or your blonde bright. But This is what I've been using, and I like it. I think it's okay. It's not overly conditioning. I mean, I don't use it and then it comes out, my hair feels soft or anything like that. It just seems like a basic shampoo, keeps your hair clean, it lathers up, and it leaves a toning effect to your silver hair. Would I recommend this? I don't know. It's a standard shampoo. I don't think it does anything wildly spectacular. If you have a shampoo you're using and you're perfectly happy with it, I would stick with that. But I've been enjoying this, and it might be something you want to try if you feel that your silver or your gray has gotten a little bit dull. But it seems to work out really well for me. I used it yesterday, and here is an up close look of what my silver looks like. Yeah, I think it's coming along really well. I like it. I think it looks good. It still feels good. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about today, is just to cover those areas, because I really don't hear and see too many people talking about that. So I just thought that I would share a little bit about my own journey. If you have any questions, or if you have any comments or things that you want to add, you can leave something in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. But in the meantime, I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.